Hello everyone, I am going to show you how to do an oil change on a 2015 Volkswagen Passat. The first step that you have to do is raise the car from the ground so that you can get under there, remove a panel, and do the oil change. So what I did is I put the car on top of a piece of wood, and then I also used a jack to raise it up. Once your car is elevated enough for you to get under there, you're going to want to remove a splash panel. I already went ahead and did this, so I'm just going to kind of explain what it takes to remove this. It has two different types of bolts. First is the smaller one, and for the smaller one, you're going to want to use a T25 to remove those. There's 4 on each side. And then on the bottom part of it, so there's these 3 bigger ones, you're going to want to use, here it is. This one is a T45. So this T45 fits on these right here. And once you remove those bolts, you're going to want to push this in your car and then out because it is stuck on the top part. So now that you have a splash panel taken out of a car, next step is to drain the oil from it. You're going to want to use this T45 size. On my car, it's the same size as the bolts that I have up here, which, just as a reminder, this is more in the car. So this is the back side, this is the front side, this connects up here. But yeah, anyways, you're gonna use this T45 size to unbolt the bolt that's holding the oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You can use this wrench. Oh, well, I already drained it and I put new oil in it, but I'm going to show you guys where it's at. So you're going to want to get under the car. You're going to see this black module, this thing right here. This is where the oil is kept. And this is where you drain it from, right here. So you're going to want to be really careful with figuring out if this is the right size, because you don't want to mess up a thread. And for my car, it is the right size. There's barely any wiggle room, so that's what you want. And you just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and you let it drain into one of these. While your car is draining oil, what you can do is change the oil filter in the meantime. And the oil filter is located right here. Again, just like the bolt that's holding the oil, you gotta make sure that there's not that much wiggle room when you fit something so that you don't mess up any threads. This is a perfect size. Although this tool is old, I want to assume that this is a 31. The size 32 had a little bit more wiggle room than this, and the size 30 was too small, so I believe this is a 31. So you're gonna wanna put it on here, and then you're gonna loosen it up and take it out. So as I mentioned earlier, I already did this step, so I'm just going to kind of go over it with you and how it would have been. This is the oil filter that I purchased for my car. This is my old filter that I took out. And I'm not sure what happened to the O-ring, but there was an O-ring, I think I threw it away, that comes with it. So it comes with a filter and it comes with an O-ring. What you're going to want to do is remove a filter and the O-ring from your oil filter and just replace it with the new ones. When you insert this back in, you got to make sure you hear a click, and then you're good. And then for the O-ring, you got to make sure you rub some oil around it. And then you just put it back in. So now you're still waiting for it to drain. A good piece of advice while it's draining is you remove this cap up here so it allows more airflow through your car and it allows the oil to drain more easily. So you just make sure you take this cap off while it's draining. Once your car finishes draining the oil and you notice that there's no more coming out, you're going to go back in there and screw the bolt back inside. And at this point, you'll be able to come back out and put new oil inside of here. So for my car requires 5.7 quarts. So I purchased this 5-quart gallon. And then I also purchased a 1 quart. My car takes 5W40 oil. So I went ahead and I used this funnel so I wouldn't get oil everywhere to insert the oil. And then I closed it back up. Now I'm pulling the old oil out of my car, under my car. Making sure I don't have tools under there. Next step is to turn on the car and let it run for a little while. So you're gonna wanna turn on your car for a little while, let the oil run, and just check under the car and make sure that no oil is leaking, which would indicate that you didn't screw in the bolt tightly enough. And yeah.